What's up guys, and welcome to the channel. As you can see, we have the 1K Fox out today, busted windshield and all. Today is the day that John comes and picks the car up. He's gonna take it to his house, kind of tweak on it, work on it, get the new windshield put in, and then we'll see the car back here once he gets some of his stuff done. Now, before he picks the car up today, we do have to clean the interior up because, as you can see, it is a wreck. That one little tree limb made a huge mess. So we've got debris on the dash we've got to clean up. You know, it busted the dash. I think it did. I can't remember. I'd have to look back in the videos. It may have already been busted up like that, but you guys probably remember. Anyway, there's just stuff everywhere. We got to really clean this thing up. We're not going to detail the car today. That is for a later video, because I do want to take this car, clean it all up, dye the interior, make it look good again. He's got most everything that we need to finish this car, but there's a reason why nothing's been done. Nothing's been done to the car because I like to video everything for you guys. So things like this have to sit until I'm able to video it. So there we go guys. I've waited. We've not done anything to the car. We've not touched it. We will video pretty much everything that we do to the car other than when it goes back to John's house. Obviously at that point, he's going to send some update videos and some pictures so I can update you guys. All right guys, I'm going to go ahead and start vacuuming some of this stuff out, and John will be here in a few minutes and we'll pick back up. Okay, so we found a few things in the back of the car. Found the side molding, which is in pretty much pristine shape. So this is the aftermarket molding, and you can always tell because it doesn't have the metal strips in it and it's very flexible. That's a good thing, and it's also a bad thing. If you do not adhere these properly, you're going to have issues and they're just going to fall off. So I don't know if I'm going to do it in this video, but at some point we will be reinstalling these side moldings and I will show you the correct way to do it. You cannot use this cheap stuff from Walmart. This double-sided tape does not work. It's going to take something like a 3M, a really good tape that's designed for this stuff. In the back of the car, it looks really good back here, guys. Check this out. Even still got the shade. Love it. So the interior looks really good. A few things that were left back here that are useful. New idle air control. Well, not new, but I'm sure there's nothing wrong with this idle air control. I would almost put money on it, but there again, spending money, chasing problems. That's what you do. You buy parts and they don't fix things. Looks like a HID kit back here. Probably won't use that for anything. Another coupling. So anyway, this is the back of the car. Looks really good. Won't take but a few minutes to clean this up. And it looks like I have a little helper out here today. Memphis, I guess, wants to help. She has found a lizard. Yeah.
So cute.
Well, Memphis thinks the lizard is cute. I don't necessarily think it's cute, but hey, whatever, no harm, no foul. He'll get sucked up in the vacuum here in a few minutes if he does not find his way out. Speaking of which, we are going to go ahead, get the vacuum in this car. I've already started cleaning some of the stuff out. It's already looking better. We're gonna get the vacuum in, vacuum everything up, and I'm gonna show you guys a quick trick on this carpet. We've got her all vacuumed up. Right now I wanna move on and show you guys a trick. Most of you already know it. We are going to dye the carpet. We are going to use Firethorn Red. It's an SEM product. It's going to work pretty good here. I'll show you guys exactly what I'm talking about. If you just need to get by and your carpet's looking pretty rough, you don't want to spend the money, there's always this option. Listen to the horses. Accelerate smooth. Move or else get moved. For cover, my brother suckers, I get this is about what it's going to look like. I'm going to go in, do my little touch-ups, and we'll make this thing look new again. What do you guys think? That took about 15 minutes to do, and I think it looks a lot better. I have not shampooed the seats yet, and I've not detailed the dash or anything like that, because we are going to save that for later. So we're going to replace the dash pad, obviously blend in everything up here, all the new pieces. We're going to blend everything in. The seats, well, this seat will be cleaned, and that seat will probably have to be replaced. Look at the carpet. That's presentable. That looks way better than it did before, and I'll throw up a comparison clip right now for you. Looks a lot better than it did, guys. You know, yeah, sure, you can tell that it's been sprayed if you look hard enough, but you know, when you open the door, it looks a lot better than it did. I think that's going to take care of the interior. Look who it is. It's Mr. Fowler himself. All right guys, we're going to go ahead and take the upper intake off because as you all know, there's a lower intake leak on this car. We're not going to pull the lower today. John, like I said, is going to be taking a car home today, so we're just trying to do this real quick like. So we're just going to take the upper off and then try to torque the lower. Hopefully that'll seal it up at least a little better and he can get the car to the house. Also, once again, we found an injector unplugged over here. Number 2 injector was just completely unplugged, so at some point he's gonna have to get all new connectors for the injectors because they just keep coming off. They're all broken, so that's no big deal though. We'll get around to that at some point. Okay, so we've got the upper intake off. Now we're just gonna kind of move everything out of the way and try to retorque everything. We'll see what happens. I already know, so don't blast me in the comment section. Most of the time this does not work, but it's worth a try. The intake only takes about 5 minutes to get off, so it's worth a try. We'll go ahead, see if this helps. If not, then we'll just replace the lower intake gaskets here pretty soon. In the comment section below, if you got any questions for John concerning the 1K Fox, just ask them down below. I know a lot of times you guys send me stuff on Instagram and whatnot, and John reads the comments, so if you've got any questions, just post them down below and I'm sure he will stop by at some point and try to answer your questions. We're gonna hold him to that anyway. So we have one that is stripped out here. Remember guys, aluminum heads, do not torque the shit out of these because you'll strip the heads out. So looks like what has happened right here. No real big deal. Once you get the intake off, you can always come back and put a helicoil in it or something like that. But I'm gonna see if I have a longer bolt that'll engage a little bit deeper, see if we can get this thing tightened up. We'll go ahead and tell you our findings. Whenever he pulled the bolt out, it was completely covered in oil. Like we already knew, the intake is not sealed up down here. But as you can see, it's covered in oil. So what that means is the intake did not seal properly against the head here, and more than likely it's sucking oil up in between the runner and it's getting over into the threads of the bolt. More than likely that's what it is. Puddle of oil that we had right here, we've already cleaned it up. More than likely that's what's happening here, is it's coming up around that bolt. We're just going to put this thing back together. We do not have intake gaskets today, so we're just going to put this thing back together. We did retorque everything. I doubt that it helps any at all. That bolt over there was loose and this bolt over here was loose, so we were able to get those back in and get them tightened down, but I don't think that's going to fix the problem. We're going to go ahead, put this thing back together and see how she runs. You need to get up, get out and get something. How will you make it if you never even try? You need to get up, get out and get something, cause you and I got. All right guys, we're going to go ahead and do the zip tie loom tutorial. I've been talking about it, never really showed you guys. We're only going to do one side. I'm running out of zip ties here. John's going to video. It's really simple. Take your wires together like this. You're just going to run your first zip tie over the top. You want to keep it loose. And you want to just come in between a wire like that. Snug it down a little bit. Come in between the next set. Same thing. You're just going in between each one. Make sure you don't over tighten anything to start with. Okay, so it's going to look like this. So we had some difficulties with the GoPro, so we're just going to roll this around. Just clip everything off. It's going to look nice and neat. And the good thing about this is you can do it any way you want to. Show you real quick in regular time what I'm talking about. Just pick you a spot. The good thing again about this is you can start wherever you want to. You can put as many as you want to. And you can take this down as far as you would like. You can go all the way down to the header itself. But that's a quick little tutorial on the zip tie wire loom. Alright guys, John's going to drive the car. We know it's not fixed. The lower intake's still leaking. He's going to take the car down the road and make sure it runs decent at least. All right, guys, John is back from his little cruise. How'd it run?
Ran pretty good. Seems like the computer's learning. You know, the more we drive it, the better it's gonna be.
This computer is still learning. Now, I don't know how much these things do learn. I don't know how smart the A9P and the A9Ls are, but I do know that they learn. So we adjusted the timing on the car, tightened down the lower intake, did a couple other things. The car seems to be running pretty good. Now, we are very aware that the car is not fixed. The lower intake is leaking pretty bad still. So that's no problem. We're gonna put some lower intake gaskets on it at some point, and that should straighten the car out. At that point, we will do a base idle reset and we will go through the whole thing. He says the car runs pretty good though. It's got a good amount of power. The last time he drove the car, it was anemic. It was horrible. The car had zero power. It wouldn't kick down. So he's pretty impressed with it. The car ran a lot better than it did before. One other thing though, John found this earlier. I hate to show you guys, but it is what it is. One more little bit of damage on the car. So as you guys can see on the roof here, you know, this car was pretty damn straight whenever he first got it, but you know, now we have this. The windshield's not an issue, you know, that'll be fixed. And then we have this, you know, it's all body work. It's no big deal. The main thing is getting the car to run correctly. All this stuff can be done later. We tried to do our best to keep the car safe. It just didn't work out right. All right, guys, that's gonna wrap this video up. And as always, thanks for watching. Now, you might not think that that's impressive, but I promise you it is. Look at that, guys. That just goes to show the car's running better than it ever has. It wouldn't even do that on wet pavement before. So, all right, guys, that's it. The 1K Fox is gone for now, but it will be back. Deuces.